What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jewel. I'm an attachment coach, and today I'll be doing a continuation video from yesterday. Today I'm talking about stage 2 of healing anxious attachment style. One thing that you will notice in this stage is that you become more self-aware and you are trying to use the skills that you've learned through sessions to help you regulate yourself. And at the end of the video, I'll be also giving you 5 tips to help you regulate yourself more. So I'll be using this script to help you understand more about what happens in this state. This is yesterday's persona. She has come back for sessions after sessions, and in this particular session she is at stage 2 of healing her anxious attachment style. So let's listen in to what she has to say. Hi Coach Jewel, exploring my attachment style has really been eye-opening. I've started to see how my reactions and expectations might be putting a lot of pressure on my partner. In stage 2, as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of awareness. You become aware of your own behavior. Remember in yesterday's video, the persona had a lot of projections towards her partner based on the insecurities that she had. But in the second stage is where you actually realize, hey, my behaviors could actually be anxiously attached and I actually need some help. But knowing that and actually changing my behavior are two different things. It's really hard. Another important aspect you should understand is that in stage 2, yes, you're aware of the behavior, but you haven't yet grasped the skill of regulating yourself. So it is quite frustrating and it's difficult to calm yourself down. A few days ago, my partner didn't reply to my texts for a few hours. I could feel myself starting to panic and think of the worst. So as you can see, you're still triggered. Things that make you feel abandoned or make you feel distance or space between you and your partner trigger you still. I reminded myself that this was my anxiety talking, and I tried to stay calm, but it was difficult. So despite the fact that you are triggered, you have methods to calm yourself down. You can hear that she reminded herself that it is just anxiety talking and that everything is okay. When he finally replied, I had to resist the urge to lash out or demand an explanation. I took a few deep breaths and told myself that his delayed response wasn't a reflection of his feelings for me. So here I want you to notice that she uses 2 strategies. Number 1, deep breaths to calm herself down. Breathe in, breathe out when you're feeling anxious, okay? Number 2 is mindfulness, where she says his response wasn't a reflection of his feelings for me. When we finally talked, I explained how I felt without accusing him of anything. It wasn't perfect. I still felt anxious, but I tried to focus on my own reactions rather than blaming him. He was actually really understanding. He said he didn't mean to make me feel negative and appreciated that I was trying to handle it differently. It felt good to have a calmer conversation, but the anxiety is still there, and I have to keep reminding myself that it's not all on him. So that aspect of reminding yourself is you being mindful. Journaling has also helped a bit. Writing down my thoughts when I'm feeling overwhelmed seems to give me some perspective. I've also been trying to focus on my breathing and grounding exercises when I start to feel panicky. It's just hard to remember to do these things in the moment. So far, it's a mix of pride and frustration. I'm glad I'm becoming more aware of my patterns, but it's frustrating to see how deeply ingrained they are. I want to feel secure and not let my anxieties control me, but it's tough to break from old habits. That's true. It is tough to break from old habits. And this is the end of the script today. So from this script, I want you to understand that in stage 2, you have become more aware of your anxious attachment style, and you're using different strategies to help you cope with the anxious attachment style. Now, the only problem is that you haven't yet grasped it, and so it's still frustrating because you still feel triggered, you still feel anxious, and it's quite hard to use these strategies because you are not yet used to them. And you have mixed emotions. You're proud of yourself for being emotionally aware, but again, it's also frustrating to use these skills that are not second nature to you. Now, if you find yourself in this stage 2, these are the 5 points that I promised I will talk about to help you cope with the anxious attachment style that you have. Number 1, when something seems off in the relationship, affirm it and slow down. When you feel like something is wrong in the relationship, don't rush to try and resolve it by wanting your partner to affirm you that all is well, because actually maybe something is wrong and it needs to be fixed. You have 3 parts of yourself: your inner child, which is your child self; your adult self, which is you, who is an adult and is responsible for your inner child; and then your parent self. Okay, your inner child was enmeshed to your parent as you grew up, so in your relationship you show up in the same way. You dissociate from your own emotions and want your partner to be there in their parent self in order for them to take care of your child self and to calm you down, which doesn't work long term. A healthy relationship has 2 individuals in their adult self who can be intimate and also give each other space when needed. Number 2, lean back and regulate outside the relationship. When you are in your child state and feel dissociated from yourself, remind your inner child that she or he is safe because you are present to regulate yourself. Then do something that does not involve your partner. Focus on your breath instead of their facial expression. Ask yourself where your hand is, where your leg is. If you're seated down, can you feel yourself seated down? Instead of focusing on your partner. Then take a step into another room if you feel too overwhelmed, and don't focus on them, because your adult self should self-regulate without being enmeshed with your partner. Number 3, normalize space as a regular part of a healthy relationship. As an anxious attached person, when your partner tries to pull away, you want to pull them back and don't want them to leave. This unfortunately pushes them away. Space is a healthy part of a relationship to help both of you regulate separately and then come together to solve your issues. It is also important to accept the possibility of loss of the relationship, because you are confident you will take care of your inner child and you will show up in your adult self. Then the 4th one is locate your feelings in your body and identify your needs. Have a talk with your inner child and understand what are their needs. If it is reassurance, then reassure yourself and show up in your adult self for your inner child. Then lastly, connect to communicate your needs and use the I statements and negotiation agreements. So once both of you are regulated and you talk about the relationship, express yourself not from a point of being enmeshed with their inner child, e.g., I feel like you are mad at me. So an enmeshed feeling is having a feeling that is located in someone else's body. Like you see that statement, I feel like you are mad at me. Instead, the feeling of I feel like you are mad at me, what does it feel like in your body? Does it feel like tense energy where you're scared and frozen, or activated and stressed out of a panic response? So you can say, For example, I feel a sense of disconnect and I feel sadness about it and I don't know what's going on. So I wonder if we could have a conversation where I can share some ideas or boundaries and agreements that we can have in our relationship so that I can feel safe to fully invest in the relationship and to continue building it. If your partner is down for it, then that is actually a good sign. But if they aren't interested and turn you down and they don't care about you being regulated and feeling safe in that relationship, then that should also affect your next decisions. And if you choose to remain in that kind of relationship where your needs are openly being neglected and no effort of wanting them to be met are done, then you are willingly self-neglecting yourself. Self-neglect is where you know your emotional needs are not being met, but still you choose to stay in this relationship. Those are the 5 points that you can use to help you cope with anxious attachment style in your relationship. So just to recap, number 1, when something seems off in the relationship, affirm it and slow down. Number 2, lean back and self-regulate outside of the relationship. Number 3, normalize space as a regular part of a healthy relationship. Accepting the possibility of loss is absolutely essential. Then 4th, locate your feelings in your body and identify your needs. 5, reconnect to communicate your needs and use the I language and negotiation agreements. If you've watched this video to the end, I hope it has been helpful. And if you would love to learn more, you can book a one-on-one session with me. My link is in all my social media platforms in the bio, where there is one-on-one coaching and then an arrow and a link down below it. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I will see you guys in the video tomorrow. Bye.